What is your name, please?
Name is Tony Helfer.
Number 2.
My name is Tony Helfer.
And number 3.
My name is Tony Helfer.
Only one of these people is the real Tony Helfer and has sworn to tell the truth. And now, let's meet our panel. The second fastest mouth from Georgia, Nipsey Russell. Television's only Estonian panelist, Teal Lee. Television writer, producer, actor from WKRP in Cincinnati, Gordon Jump. And to tell the truth's panelistic prima donna, Kitty Carlisle. That's our panel. And here's the host of To Tell the Truth, Robin Ward.
Man, they are wild out there, panel. Can you believe this audience? They're incredible. It's good to see you, panel. Let's get serious and get right down to the problem presented by our first team of challengers, all 3 of whom claim to be Tony Helfer. And once again, panel, if you would follow along as I read this affidavit. I, Tony Helfer, raise exotic animals with my husband Ralph on an unusual compound called the Gentle Jungle, which is also the title of my new book on the subject of animals. I use a technique called affection training, which substitutes love and respect for fear and punishment. My animals have performed in over 5,000 movies, TV shows, and commercials. It took time to adjust to living in the same house with a full-grown lion and a 20-foot python, but today I work comfortably with lions, tigers, hyenas, giraffes, gorillas, and elephants, because I've learned that the voice of a friend is much more powerful than the crack of a whip. Signed, Tony Helfer. All right, panel, these 3 people all claim to be exotic animals trainer Tony Helfer, and let's start the questioning with Nipsey.
Number 1, what is there about the voice that it persuades an animal of your friendship?
It's the soothing. It's also the voice control when you're working with the animal.
All right. Number 3, are not wild animals given to hostility when they encounter a strange species like man?
Not necessarily if they're trained with affection training that we use.
Number 2, how do you get an animal to the extent of accepting your kindness? He's wild when you get him, for example.
Well, it's a one-to-one basis, and you work each day and with love and care.
How do you get past his natural fear of you?
Very gently.
And are his rewards in terms of bits of food, pats on the head?
Food, pats on the head. They respond very well to the...
Well, number 1, what if they resist?
Thank you, Nipsey, and we go to Teal Lee.
Number 1, where do you live?
In Los Angeles.
Number 2, are you on a ranch?
We have a compound.
Number 3, do you need a license for any of the animals?
Yes, we do.
Number 3, are all of them licensed?
No, some of the lower forms are not.
Number 2, what does a lion eat?
Raw meat.
How much raw meat?
Well, one lion would average about 30 pounds a day.
Number 1, how do you know whether your animals love you?
By the way they react towards you.
What happens if you have a fight with one of them? If you disagree with what one of the lions is doing, for example.
Well, then the parent-child relationship comes in. You establish a hierarchy.
And we go to Gordon.
Number 1, when a python has wrapped around you is some 20 feet, how do you take affirmative action?
Well, if it's 20 feet, you've got to have some help in there somewhere along the line.
Number 2, what does a python like to eat?
They eat rodents, rats, mice.
What's the greatest thing you have to fear about a python? Number 3, what is the greatest thing that you have to fear about handling a python?
They might squeeze you too hard.
Okay. How does an animal sense your fear, number 1?
I think probably more through the hierarchy, one-upsmanship. It's that you're not in control.
Thank you, Gordon. And we go to Kitty Carlisle.
Well, we haven't established how you achieve respect with a 20-foot python. Number 2, how do you do that?
Well, you just, you work day to day with them, and you don't show any hostility towards them, and very gentle, and you move very slowly.
Number 3, animals are afraid if you move quickly.
Yes, they are.
Number
On
1,
the
is
whole.
it true that if you back up from an elephant, he will never attack you?
If you back up from an elephant,
You must
he will-
never go toward him, but if he's coming at you and you slowly back up, he won't attack you.
That's
I
news
try
to
to
me.
be prepared for any kind of emergency.
Yes, with information like that.
That bell says time is up, panel, and now it's time to vote for number 1, for number 2, or for number 3. Whoever, in your opinion, is the real Tony Helfer. We will pay $100 for each incorrect vote, and 4 incorrect votes will give $500 to our team of challengers. Are the ballots all marked, panel?
Ballots
Nipsey,
are
who'd you vote for?
Well, now, I voted for number 1 because of what you said about voice tone, the tone of one's voice. But I was started off voting for number 3 because I didn't think a python was a constrictor. I thought they were known for biting.
To you, who got your vote?
Well, number 1 got my vote, but for the silliest reason. She lives in Los Angeles and has a tan.
And Gordon, who got your vote?
Number 2 got my vote. She doesn't have a tan. In fact, she's very white. I'd be scared stiff working around those animals myself. I thought maybe that's what her problem was.
Yeah.
And Kitty?
Well, I thought also that a python was a stinger and a boa was a constrictor. And I voted for number 2 because she had a very important point. With wild animals, you must pursue them very slowly. Wild animals get very scared if you make a sudden movement.
All right, now we're going to find out who is the real showbiz animal trainer. Will the real Tony Helfer please stand up?
Number 1. That's number 1. No. Stand up, number 1.
Okay, let's find out who our imposters are. Number 2, you got 2 votes. Would you tell us who you are and what you do, please?
My name is June Clark, and I'm a change girl in Las Vegas, Nevada at Club Bingo.
All right. And number 3, would you tell us about yourself, please?
My name is Janet York, and I'm a marriage, family, and sex therapist.
Tony, what famous star animals do you have in your compound that have appeared on television and film?
Well, we
Give us
have
some
many.
names.
We've done Doctari, so we have Judy and Clarence the Cross-Eyed Lion,
You have
Gentle
Clarence the
Ben.
Cross-Eyed Lion?
We've done many of the Mercury Cougar commercials. In fact, I used to be Mercury Cougar girl for the Mercury Cougar commercials. The Hartford Elk, the Enco Tiger, the Schlitz Bull, the Dreyfus Fund Lion, the MGM Lion, and just on and on and on.
Well, listen, thanks for joining us. You had 2 incorrect votes at $100 each, giving $200 to our team of challengers. Thank you for playing To Tell the Truth, and we'll see 2 of you on one-on-one very shortly. Good luck with the book. Thank you. And we'll be back right after these words of wisdom.
Today's central characters will receive Vitamix stainless steel 3-minute bread maker and home yogurt factory. Juices without waste, cooks without burning, freezes instant ice cream, offers 800 other recipes. And Odyssey 2 easily attaches to any television set with alphanumeric keyboard, which commands the Magnavox video system. 38 games for family fun from Magnavox. Also, authentic-looking Kalux decorative brick. 5 types of corner and custom pieces for simple installation without cutting. Lightweight, fireproof, economical Kalux. Better than real. Back to you, Robin.
We're back, and let's meet our next team of challengers.
Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is Rosa Parks.
Number 2.
My name is Rosa Parks.
And number 3.
My name is Rosa Parks.
Once again, panel, would you follow along, please, as I read this affidavit? I, Rosa Parks, went from seamstress to national symbol in 1955 when I refused to give up my seat on a segregated bus in Montgomery, Alabama. I was jailed for my defiance and moved from the South. But this fight, which sparked 2 decades of racial and political protest, went all the way to the Supreme Court. I'm still active in the struggle against discrimination, and street scholarships and service awards now bear my name. I've also gained a reputation as the mother of the civil rights movement in America, all because of a simple no. Signed, Rosa Parks. All right, panel, these three ladies all claim to be civil rights champion Rosa Parks, and let's start the questioning with Tiu Leek.
Number 2, did you grow up in Montgomery?
Yes.
Where did you move to when you left?
When I left Montgomery,
Yes.
moved to Detroit, Michigan.
Number 3, how long were you jailed?
Just a few hours between, a few minutes before 6 o'clock until about between 9:30 and 10 in the evening of December 1st, 1955.
Number 1, do you remember how you felt when you said no?
I felt that I was doing the right thing.
Number 2, was the bus driver white?
Yes.
Number 3, did you know Martin Luther King?
Yes.
Thank you, Tiu. We go to Gordon.
Number 1, how did you feel at the moment of arrest?
Well, I was sure that I had done the right thing, and I was interested in being arrested because I felt that it might be the beginning of a movement to wipe out the segregation on the bus.
Number 3, when you went to Detroit, am I right, number 3, that you moved to Detroit?
Yes.
Did you feel there were any segregation there as similar to the South? What were your feelings there?
It was not similar to the South as I knew it.
Okay.
Thank you, Gordon, and we go to Kitty Carlisle.
Number 2, what led up to this? There must have been something in your, either that you had read or some event, or had you joined a movement? How did you lead up to this glorious moment on that bus?
It wasn't something that I made up my mind to do. It's just that I had been working that day. I had decided, because of a prior arrest by a young girl, that it was time someone made a stand, and I just decided I was not going to move.
Well, that was just brava. Number 3, when you became the mother of the civil rights movement, have you written books? Have you made lots of speeches? Tell us what you've done.
Visit a number of places to make appearances on request, but so far I have not written a book. There have been a number of articles written and published.
Thank you, Kitty, and we go to Nipsey Russell.
Number 3, do you know who Mr. Fred Shuttlesworth was?
Yes, I know who he is.
Yes. Does the name E.D. Nixon mean anything to you?
Yes.
Can you tell me, still number 3, the name of the popular singing star who raised a lot of money and arranged for that entertainment that took place on the march from Selma to Montgomery?
There were several people who entertained in Montgomery, and Harry Belafonte was one.
I see. Number 1, I'll ask, what happened to bring the establishment down in Montgomery? Was there a strike, or did people stop riding the bus entirely, or what?
5 days after I was arrested, Martin Luther King and Reverend Abernathy organized a bus boycott, which lasted 381 days.
Yeah.
And this had quite an influence.
That bell tells us the time is up. And now, of course, it's time to vote for number 1, for number 2, or for number 3. Whoever, in your opinion, is the real Rosa Parks. Tiu, for whom did you vote?
I voted for number 2, and it's just based on a feeling. She just has that gentleness, I think, that would allow to be defiant.
Okay. Gordon, who got your vote?
I'm so awed by the courage of the act. I found it difficult to even ask intelligent questions about it, to be very honest with you. But I went with number 3 because there's just something in her eyes that I think merits that act, a gentleness that I think brought it all about.
Okay, and Kitty?
Well, there you are. You see, any one of these three ladies could have had the courage, and I'm ashamed to say I don't really know which one it really is, but I voted for number 2.
All right. And Nipsey, who got your vote?
Well, I'll have to disqualify myself. I know Miss Parks, and I was one of the entertainers on that show between Selma and Montgomery, and it was Harry Belafonte who organized it, and E.D. Nixon and Fred Shuttlesworth were two of the men active in that freedom fight. I just thought it would be a good thing to get their names before the public and remember. But Miss Rosa Parks is 10 foot tall, and she's a legend and a hero in the democracy of the United States, not just among black people.
And now we're going to find out which of these ladies really is the incredible Rosa Parks. Will the real Rosa Parks please stand up? All right, let's find out who our imposters are. Number 1, would you tell us, please, who you are and what you do?
My name is Frances Brock Davies. I'm a social worker. Presently, I work at the Y as a counselor, and I organize socialization programs for the residents.
Thank you. And number 2, you did a lot of fooling of our panel. Would you tell us, please, who you are and what you do?
My name is Lois Alexander. I am director and founder of the Harlem Institute of Fashion and the Black Fashion Museum here in New York.
Ms. Parks, I can say nothing except that it is indeed a great honor to have you on the show. I wish you continued success in your life, and I'd like to thank you all so much. You've won $300, and thanks for playing To Tell the Truth. And we'll see 2 of you on one-on-one in just a moment. And we'll be right back, right after these messages. Time to play one-on-one panel, and here are 4 people that you have met before. Now, panel, you remember June and Janet, who pretended to be the animal trainer, and you remember, of course, Frances and Lois, who pretended to be the civil rights activist. And you do know something about these people, but there is one fact about one of them that we have withheld from you until this very moment. One of these 4 people made medical history by sneezing every 15 seconds for 154 consecutive days. You will each have 20 seconds to question the person sitting directly opposite you. At the end of that time, you'll be asked to cast your vote there and then as to whether that person is the cosmic sneezer. Once again, we will pay $100 for each incorrect vote, and 4 incorrect votes will bring $500 to our team of challengers. Kitty, are you ready to question June one-on-one?
Thank you.
Then hit it.
And what made you stop, June?
It was a shock treatment.
You mean electric shock?
Conditioning shock.
What is that?
Well, every time I sneeze, I got shocked.
Uh-huh. And is it just as bad as hiccuping?
I would think so.
Could you die from it?
I would think so.
How did they find the cure?
It was the shocks.
It was just an attempt, out of the blue.
Kitty, is June our sneezer, yes or no?
Yes.
We have a yes for June. Gordon, you ready to question Janet?
Yes.
Then start.
Who kept track of your sneezes? You had to lose count yourself.
No, it wasn't very difficult. Between the way the nurses took very detailed notes, charts are very up to date, doctors are very
Run
concerned.
through a lot of Kleenexes, I would think.
24 hours a day,
Right.
154 days.
How irritated was the olfactory system?
Very irritated. In fact, I couldn't smell for 3
Gordon,
weeks.
did Janet sneeze a lot, yes or no?
It's tough. No, I don't think she
We
did.
have a no for Janet. Tio, you ready to question Frances?
Sure.
Then start.
Frances, could you sneeze again?
Easily.
For a long period of time?
I guess on the same conditions I could.
Yeah. Are you allergic to anything?
Yes.
Would that make you sneeze?
Yes.
Were you able to eat in between a sneeze?
No, I was fed intravenously.
Oh, that's terrible.
Tio, did Frances do a lot of sneezing, yes or no?
No.
That's a no. Nipsey, you ready to question Lois?
Yes, I am.
Then start.
Hush! Can you, did they find out what your allergy was?
Yes.
And what was it?
Any kind of raw vegetable.
Any kind of raw vegetable. And did you sneeze right through the night?
Yes.
Did you get any sleep at all during that time?
They made me get sleep. They gave it to me.
Nipsey, is Lois the sneezer, yes or no?
I don't think so.
No for Lois. Okay, the decisions have been made, and now, of course, it's time to tell the truth. Will the real super sneezer please stand up?
It's
one.
It's Jen.
One, yeah!
Unfortunately, you didn't win any money, but there'll be a case of Kleenex standing by in the wings
And
just in
it's
case
a
you
soda.
need it. Thank you for playing To Tell the Truth one-on-one. And we'll be right back right after these words. Once again, panel, we have reached the end of another busy day. It's been fun. Thanks for being with us. Thank you for being with us. See you same time next time on To Tell the Truth. Thank you. Thank you.
Today's imposters will receive the Protector Sound Shield, one product with the most complete new car protection package in the business. Available only from better new car dealers. And Miracle White Super Cleaner boosts your detergent's cleaning power. Helps remove the toughest stains like oil and grease. Miracle White cleans clothes better than detergents alone. And there's only one genuine popsicle brand frozen treat: Popsicle, Fudgesicle, Dreamsicle, and Creamsicle. The frozen confections loved for over half a century. And Mystery Bubble, a gentle bubble bath for kids that makes getting clean almost as much fun as getting dirty. Furnished by Mystery Bubble. This is Alan Calder speaking for To Tell the Truth, a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production.
You little rascals.
Oh, it's fun, isn't it?
And who subscribes to it?
Go on, push the button.
Think of the fun you could have on
The tube.
the tube.
You.
Tube.
TV
tubes.
That's a lot of fun, isn't it?
It's going to be a lot more fun
if you keep going the way you're going.
Go on, push the button.
Please subscribe.
I hope they're watching.